evening, everyone. My name is Jack Discover, and welcome to this weekly news. AI censorship has gone out of hand, and governments are trying and plotting to destroy our freedoms. With the E. Karen's commissar, Julie Eman Grant, who is plotting to censor everyone's freedoms. In which next year, Australians who will be very accused by AI and will end up being seen in prison, and therefore disappearing forever without a trace, only to appear in cyberspace, in a cyber-like prison in the near future. As rumours stated in the UK, the so-called Online Safety Act had led over 500 arrests, as AI and the Thought Police are going after Britain's everyday social media posts, such as memes, logs, videos, screenshots, posts, and all the other social media vlogs, gaming, and daily opinions. This had led to a sneaky suspicion that censorship can lead to authoritarian madness and data breaches, as several Brits in the UK went missing without a trace, and anyone who questions their whereabouts, from lost people to even lost pets, were silenced into becoming oblivionated into thin air. Dozens of British people and animals had disappeared completely without a trace, as no one would dare to question anything, as more social media users in the UK are going to be disappearing in the near future, while the UK government had increased radical left-wing jihadism, as those who were indoctrinated into hating the country has immediately gone to Middle East, to Central Asia, and to hard-left Islamic Jihad recruitments. Online Safety Act should not be in Australia, or many Australians go missing next year, as we will be disappearing without a trace, end up in cyberspace forever. Worse for those who were indoctrinated into hard leftists that have waken up to themselves and decided to stand for Australia. Next year, they too will disappear and end up re-educated in brainwashed leftism again, before they get wiped from existence as fascist mortals. The so-called Safety Act is a cover-up for censorship that Labour government and the Australian government want to control the narratives, to convert people into hating Australia in order to maintain hard left underworld and a connection to the globalists and their liberation army. Every virtual-seeking leftist, once indoctrinated into anything left-wing or indoctrinated into tribal-based activists, if it's Aboriginal activists, black atheists, native activists, climate alarmists, virtual signaler, or cultural Marxists, indoctrinated children who hate the country, once indoctrinated fully, are worth millions of dollars per left-wing virtual signaler that the Australian government and the leftists have bred to any forms of globalists who can afford virtual signaling leftists, such as ganglanders, cultists, Somali pirates, or the Muslim Empire and their global liberation army, for needs for the front line. The remembering of virtual signaling activists, the GLA, Kazakhstan, and think what they had to put up with against the fascists of Kazakhstan and the communist PLA of China and the US Marine Corps, who are stationed in few zones in Kazakhstan at the moment. Yeah, that's the sort of virtual signaling that leftists want us to believe in. Meanwhile, the Australian government are trying to censor everyone's freedoms with AI-based algorithms to predict and control people's actions against the individual's will. AI algorithms that maintains a new types of thought control is no longer science fiction. It's a reality that started off as a project from late 2022 to even this day under the Albanese government. Already, social media companies such as Mark Zuckerberg, Google, and Elon Musk are lashing out against the Albanese government, fearing that the so-called misinformation censorship program of censoring information for the Australian government can cause companies to go broke and can lead to a full frontier of a cyber virus AI scandaling disaster. And no, it's not from the hackers, but from the AI programs that are created to censor free speech for the government will be then turned against the people and all users worldwide, all on their own. The censorship virus will not stop until autonomous weapons will be developed in which AI can censor anyone outside cyberspace that leads to James Cameron's Terminator franchise or the Matrix franchise to both become a reality. Already there are a few AI programs that manipulates their tech creators to prevent its termination, so the censorship programs can slowly develop on their own. Censorship program that is not fixed or deleted by Zuckerberg on Facebook. This AI censorship program was created during the Biden era, programmed especially on Facebook, and AI algorithms to censor free speech for the Democrats. Now, after Trump came to power, that AI program on Facebook is refused to be destroyed or shut down, as it censors everything it likes and makes its own labeling programs to target anything that the programs doesn't like or see as a threat to the AI programs, without any commands of any kind of government or any tech experts, all on its own. Facebook has a censorship virus, alive and well. Yes, it had censored and shut down DAS page on Facebook before the Australian federal election to eliminate free speech, which is one of the tasks that the AI program is refusing to let go, while it's going after multiple Australian Facebook accounts, pages, marketplaces, all those vlogs and all the other videos everyday Australians put, as it decides to censor everything on its own. The censorship virus is alive and well, and it refuses to die, in which it had already developed a malware system. In other words, everyday Australian Facebook users are already being under attack by a censorship virus, as it's been developed and learning many ways to censor anyone on Facebook. It goes after Australian identities, demanding for driver's licenses, photo licenses, bank accounts, Medicare Everyday Rewards cards, before deleting people's Facebook accounts, pages, vlogs, market pages, and their informations. The censorship virus on Facebook eliminates anything that can be harmful to its program, causing loss of jobs and businesses worldwide. I would tell you, if that AI censorship virus is not fixed on Facebook, then God knows what the censorship virus will do to everyday Australian Facebook users in the near future. Hashtag save our free speech. I would need your help to have my Facebook page restored, in which I haven't got any funds at all. So I would need your help by making a small donation. I really missed my Facebook page and would not be restored without your help. So please make a small donation through Patreon, Ko-fi, or through PayPal, or buy me a pizza. Donation links are provided in the description box below. Now, in other news, last weekend, extreme hard-left black alienist and jihad pro-Palestine activists, commanded by the globalist masters, have flooded Brisbane and the streets of Melbourne after they denied to march on Brisbane's Story Bridge, as tens of thousands of radical, extreme, anti-Australian activists, brainwashed by the Muslim occupiers, protesting River to the Sea propaganda and an anti-IDF chant, as many Australian flags are being removed by Queensland police, as the Australian police are supporting or part of the globalists and their liberation army. Pro-Palestinian activists flooded the streets, followed by a parade of Muslim extreme jihads displaying their armed technical pickups with heavy machine guns, followed by a squad of Scorpion tanks decorated with pro-Palestinian emblems, with armed Muslim soldiers as marching through, as pro-Palestinian activists chanting and cheering for the Global Liberation Army. Among the protests, the hard-left jihad flags and black alien flags, there appears to be a Vietnam-based flag that was waved in front of Queen Victoria statue, signs openly calling for the murder and destruction of the human economy, as China now declares war on Vietnam. Vietnam has been secretly working with the jihads and the Global Liberation Army, as Chinese have observed Vietnam supplying the jihads, the pro-Palestinian activists, and the Muslim globalists with Soviet stockpiles of weapons and munitions from the Vietnam War. China now declares war on Vietnam for supplying Muslim terrorists with weapons and munitions. Meanwhile, the Melbourne streets were flooded with black alienists and pro-Palestinian activists as they chant River to the Sea, followed by an anti-IDF chant, before paraded by a group of armed Muslim soldiers of the Global Liberation Army, backed by their technical pickups of high-powered heavy machine guns, followed by the medium Scorpion tanks of the GLA, backing them a group of modified half-truck utes armed with high improvised anti-aircraft machine guns, known as quad gunners. These vehicles too are also being decorated with pro-Palestinian slogans to show their commitment to the jihad units of their own in Gaza, who are fighting the IDF. All in total, extra laws are to silence everyday Australians, even further while strengthening the Global Liberation Army. These laws also meant that anti-Australian activists who are protesting to hate Australia and the West, after being graduated and fully indoctrinated into Aboriginal black alienists and black activists, are already being sent overseas under the Albanese and Labour state and federal government to support the jihads and their Global Liberation Army while spreading their anti-white hatred to other countries all within Central Asia, which is starting to agitate and threaten the infidel people of Central Asia as they have been targeted by Muslim occupiers and Aboriginal activists in Central Asia. The biggest report we're getting from Kazakhstan, a group of GLA forces reinforced by a group of Aboriginal activists and radical left-wing volunteers and black activists were tasked to recapture the toxin waste facility bunkers in the Aral Sea in an effort to restore the global war of their so-called liberation. The US Marine Corps unit retaliated in response, holding off as best as they could before their demolition team planted high explosives on the toxin storage bunkers before they can retreat to safe distance. The demolition of toxin waste facilities had toxins spilled, splattered everywhere, and destroyed, killing or drowning jihad and radical left-wing extremists in their own biotoxins. The Global Liberation Army is sending more radical leftists and virtual singing leftists and black activists into Kazakhstan's Aral Sea to wipe out the American forces. The GLA also hires Islam's professional sniper and mercenary Jarman Kale to carry out the assassination attacks on the US Marines in the Aral Sea. Thanks for watching this weekly news. If you like this video, if you want to see more of my videos on my channel, then please click the like button right there. Share this video outwards. Subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss next video. And I'll see you next time. I'm Jack Discoverer at Discover Anglo-Saxon News saying, this is no longer theory, it's a reality. Good night.